Hello, this is me, Tony, again from the Game Challenger UK and YouTube. Just want to say thank you very much for being patient with us. We're using a centralized system to address a decentralized message. So sorry about that. Sorry about everything. I'm very happy that you're patient, and hopefully those of you that missed it will be able to get a chance to come and see it later. Now, this today is about is calling crypto a scam, the biggest scam ever. Is it? And why do we say that? Because for years, the internet was called a scam. If you really think about it carefully, the internet was called a scam for years. Also, mobile banking was called a scam. Yeah. Also, they said Africa would not leapfrog the West. Yeah. Yet, living in a digital world where money itself is changing. So we're looking at things are changing, but before they change, they call them a scam. That's in my mind. Yeah. So today, what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about digital money. We're going to be talking about crypto and the future of the economic freedom, especially in our community. So I'd like first to introduce our co-host first, and Bosse is on. Joe will join us later. Hi, Bosse. I hope
Hi,
you
Tony. Good
heard another
evening,
code.
everyone. Or should I say good
Wow.
afternoon? Hi.
Wow. I'm so excited. I'm
So am
so
I.
excited. We got someone very special, very powerful. And guess what? A woman for that matter. I'm just excited. What about you, Boss? Are you excited?
I'm very excited because I know who you're talking about. So
Right,
very,
right,
very
right, right.
excited.
So we had a little bit of a hiccup before, didn't we? Yeah.
We did.
I think that someone was trying to take me out. And guess what? They tried, but they didn't succeed because we're here right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm here right now. So guys, anyone that was trying to take me out, you know what? I keep coming until we get it done. So guess what? So guys, decentralized. So boss, do you want to say a few words before we bring our special guest on? I know Joe is going to join us later because he's pumping up. He's
She's
so
raring to
excited.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you want to say anything before I bring
Well,
Asada?
if anybody's got any comments or questions, please put them in the chat, and if we can answer some of them, that'll be great. But it's going to be a great discussion, guys. So please tune in. It's going to be great.
Great. So what I'd like to do is I call her the queen of crypto. There's so many fake queens out there. So many fake queens. They call themselves the queen of crypto. But this one is the real deal, the real queen. The queen that knows, that's been there from the Bitcoin era and now is coming up to where we are right now. And her name is Asada.
Look, I want to sing that song. Who runs the world? Girls. Who runs the world? Girls. What's up, y'all?
You know what? I don't like the way you brought that song in. Yeah, because I thought you were going to add girls and men or girls and
Look,
boys.
that's
Yeah?
your fault
Yeah?
because you said, and she's a girl. You said that. And
Yeah,
she's
okay.
a woman. So I said, he
Yeah.
wants to make this
Yeah.
gender specific.
Okay.
What's up? But anyway, I love all of the brothers and sisters in this whole world. And yes, thank you for the compliments. Being a crypto queen, you got to live up to that title. So, and I do. I make sure of it.
Great, fantastic. So Asada, what do you have in special for us in so far special for us today?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me because it's humbling. You grow up in the world and you just make decisions. Crypto is a decision that I decided to get a part of, and you do it. You help people, but then people start taking it seriously. And then there's this, you become an important person. And so for me to be here today, wow, it's important because look, you're not around the corner. You're on the other part of the world for me. And we're still building together. And so what I have to bring to the table, I think mainly is what's the agenda? Okay, what we doing? Crypto is a thing, it's currency, but I am a child of Marcus Garvey, of Queen Nzinga of Angola, of Nat Turner, of Harriet Tubman. Those are all revolutionaries. And I feel like I am a revolutionary in the crypto space because my goal is to emancipate people. So connecting with you, writing Breaking Free, connecting with Bosse, doing what she's doing with marketing and data analysis. And I'm in the right place with big people. I'm surrounding myself with big people. So today I'm going to bring my perspective. on where we can go with this as a collective people around the world. And no matter who cares about it or not, we don't care what power people think they have. We have power too. And I think I want to talk about that power today as well.
Wow, wow. Well, Sada, let's start light. I want to start light. There's so many powerful nuggets you've got there. I want to start light. So what was the first moment? When was the first moment you realized that crypto was bigger than even digital coins? When was the first moment you realized that?
Sure. You know, when I do my presentation, I do a presentation every other day during the week, just telling people the crypto basics. And I talk about how when it was first introduced to me, it wasn't explained to me. And you have to explain cryptocurrency because it is new to the world. So when it was brought to my attention, I said, humbug, get on out of here. I didn't pay it much mind. But there was something, you know, if you're a spiritual person, you ain't got to listen to nobody but God, for real. Boop, boop. And so a voice told me, you better find that person who wanted to introduce you to crypto in a new unit of time. That might have been like maybe almost 10 years later. And I went to find the person that was going to introduce me to it and found her. And, you know, it was just that voice that said, you need to learn more. And it just so happened that they had data, right? They had data, but it didn't make it clear enough for me to understand, but I knew I needed to find out. So we're talking about like 2017-ish, maybe, right? And I had been introduced like 2012, but 2017 is when I said, okay, if these people are not making this clear enough for me, I am going to learn it and make it clear enough for others. And that is when I took the responsibility of taking the information that was given to me and then putting it in a way where it could be learned. I was a teacher in my past. And so about 2017 is when I went hot and heavy. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not like a big old expert who's going to look at the market and going to do, I don't have to do that. I always find accelerated programs that accelerate my growth of cryptocurrency because I'm a single mom, I'm rocking and rolling. I don't have all the time to be watching the market and all of that. But when I join these accelerated programs, and I've only done a couple, it allows me to work in a group. And that is how I've always grown crypto, in a group of like-minded people who rock and roll. We're all learning together, but then we understand the importance of legacy, working with our families, changing our home economy, some real basic things that you don't really find in a centralized environment, like a government, you'll be working all day trying to make it. And by the time you make the money, here come the government taking it from you, or in America, the IRS or whatever. But crypto has provided the power and the autonomy that is very comfortable for me to create money in a way that, you know, to create a currency where I have the freedom. I remember when my daughter, she was 18 at the time, she's 22 now, but she was looking at her wallet going, Mommy, is all this money mine? I was like, yes, it is yours, baby. It is. And so we were making so much crypto. This was during the pandemic and we were all on lockdown. So I couldn't make money the regular way through a job or whatever. But crypto saved my life, baby. And it made it so that my daughter was able to grow in crypto as well. So all of the above, like I said, 2017 with a start, pandemic, 2020, boop, 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 all up in there. So crypto's been a big part of my life since then.
Wow. Thank you for that. Wow. During the pandemic. I love that. And you know what I like also what you just said is, you know, your daughter. That means you're starting her young.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things we have, especially in the Black community, we don't teach our kids about finance. Sure. And in schools, they don't teach them about finance. I remember reading a book called, was it Rich Dad, Poor Dad or something like that?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah. Exactly. And now we're doing the same thing, but this time in a different market, in the crypto side. Side. And this time it's our opportunity to now educate them at the start.
Yes.
I want to just bring Bosse in here because Bosse, you heard obviously Asada, one of the people that you said who runs the world, girls. No, I'm not sure about that. It's still in my head. Who run the girls? Yeah. But I wanted to say, from your research and from your experience, I know you're into data. Why do you think people associate crypto with scams? Is it lack of education? Is it media headlines? Is it bad what is it? Bad actors? What's the reason? Why, in your opinion?
Well, if we look at it, crypto's been in the news and the media for the past few years, and it's been associated with scams, money laundering, um, investment scams, fake investment schemes, and it's had such a lot of negative press. And I personally have also known people that have been seduced by these smooth talking people posing to be like crypto investment, have be part of crypto investment schemes, and they have spoken to some of the people that I've known. This is what they've told me, and they've got them to join this particular scheme, and they've told them to create a digital wallet and then transfer their money from a digital wallet to another digital wallet. And then this is how the scam works. It then shows them the money growing every week. They see the money's growing, and then they invite more friends in. And then before you know it, the rug's pulled from underneath, and they've all lost their money. So all of this negative press and media and what people experience as unfortunately associated crypto to making people think it's a scam. So when they hear that word, they're just very dismissive because it's just like scam, scam, scam. That's all they hear. So I think it's a lack of knowledge, lack of education, financial literacy, and also people just dismissing it because they just have now associated crypto to being a scam when it's actually not. But there are people out there doing such scams. So yeah, there's unfortunately, because of what people are hearing and they know people that probably experience bad things with crypto, they've now associated this crypto to being a scam. So yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Okay.
But we're here to educate. Well,
exactly.
Not just to educate, to tell people about it today and just give some knowledge about it. Yeah.
Can I say something about that?
I just want to just bring Asada in at this point,
Yeah,
but
sure.
I want you to do it from your experience angle. Yeah. Now you've seen people lose money, and you've also seen people get rich. Yeah. So why do so many people hear just the negative stories?
First of all, I don't know a bigger scam than being told that there is money that we use, talking about American money now, that hasn't been backed by gold since 1971. That means that money had no value for 54 years, and we still used it. Now, you want to talk about a scam? That is a scam to me. But because certain people have power over it, we didn't know. So we just keep using it, right? But that to me is a problem. And I think when you look at just what we call fiat money, that's the money you get from your government. Fiat money, oh my gosh, the amount of games and thievery and all the things that have happened, we just got, I guess, desensitized to that so that it didn't really matter. But now that cryptocurrency is new, people just don't have the education. You don't know what you don't know, right? And so people don't know, they don't even know people who have it. They don't know if it can really work. And so what I personally can say, even to give myself the confidence enough to write the book, Bitcoin for Black People, I wrote that book because, one, I've seen crypto work. Bitcoin is only one type of currency, right? But I've been able to observe different currencies and what I like. Right now I'm rocking with Polygon. We know that. Woo, talk about that in a minute. But just seeing that cryptocurrency gave me an opportunity to make my own decisions in money and not feel like somebody was going to take that right away from me, right? Because they didn't even know. Cryptocurrency is such that when you download that wallet, they don't even take your name. They don't take your address where you live. They don't even take they don't take your social security number. Like, it's a different platform of dealing with finance. And so this type of autonomy, I'm going to tell you, the switch to me in this world is not what we think. It's not that, oh, this is digital money. It's the fact that people are not used to being free. They are not used to being responsible and accountable for themselves and their money. They are very used to a centralized entity running their life for them. Can you tell me what my password is? Can you tell me? Like, it's just no responsibility for your own self. And that is what I'm finding the biggest shift is getting people in a position to be responsible enough to handle their own money. Because that's what crypto is. You have to handle your own money. You're responsible for your password. You're responsible for where that, if you got a Trezor, a device, which, I'll show right here. This is where we store money. You see that? See that? That is a bank. It's a bank in your house. So for me to teach people about this and to teach them that you can store your money on this and then you have it in a safe enough place in your house. All of these things are where I find the gradient is the largest to get people to realize what we're dealing with here. And so it is okay, but it's not a scam just because you don't know about it, guys. People call it a scam when they don't have the details about how you do it or the details about how it can work. But that's why we're here today, to take away the mystery. There's no mystery. It's just a decision you got to make and then, just grow from it. So I don't know if that answered your question because, I can go all around.
Because Asada, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because that answered the question. But I think one thing is, like I said, so many people hear the negative
Yeah.
news, and I think the people that have positive news about it don't voice it.
Yes.
They're anonymous, aren't they? Yeah, but the people that have the negative news, they're obviously going to be visible and shout. And what I've also noticed with everything, bad news travels fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the key thing. And Bossa, you wanted to say something on this point?
Yeah, I love what Asada said. And I think that the media drowns out the positive news as well, because all you hear in the media, and some of it's intentional, is to just associate crypto to being a scam. But there are a lot of people that are making a lot of money from crypto.
Sure.
And I think what I loved about what Asada said is the fact that when I've spoken to people that have unfortunately been involved in fraudulent investment schemes and have lost a lot of money, when they broke down to me what's happened, it's their lack of financial literacy that has let them down, their lack of understanding the whole process, their lack of understanding the digital wallet being in someone else's account means you're not in control of that money if it goes up. So the rug can easily be pulled from you. So, once you've talked them through it and they've realized, I shouldn't have let them do that because I didn't understand the process. I was just so con with all that, the smooth talk and the money going up, I didn't really even understand what was really going on, Right. So the education is important because once people start understanding everything, then they wouldn't put themselves in that situation to be vulnerable, so that people can take advantage of their lack of knowledge, of them not understanding the process, of them not understanding having your own digital money, your digital wallet is important, not being, your money represented in someone else's account. How can you control that situation?
Yes.
Sort of thing. So, yeah.
Yes.
And Bossa, with your being in data, and you've obviously looked at a lot of data related to all this, banks especially, and fiat systems. Have they not failed people just as much? Are they, or even more than just crypto scams? Have they not in banks? What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a good question because when I think about banks, they've allowed people in these crypto investment schemes to take money, a substantial amount of money from people's account, and then they then say, well, you've authorized it, but you're a bank, you're supposed to kind of like vet these kinds of people taking money, and they've started to tighten up their security system, security protocols now. But I remember in the early days, a lot of people were, money was just easily able to be transferred from their bank account, and then the bank saying, oh, sorry, we can't do anything, it's gone, there's nothing we can do. So how are they protecting, their clients, their customers, sort of thing? So they have failed people in that sense. But then it's also people failing themselves in their lack of knowledge and understanding, and getting involved in these systems where they say to the people, oh, I take over your computer, let me take over your computer, and then I manage your digital wallet, and then what they get access to their bank details, and then before you know it, they're in their bank account, transferring money. So the banks have a lot to answer for in terms of managing these fraudulent transactions and getting the money back.
Well, I mean, Asada, I'm sure you have something to say about that.
Of course. Of course. So the main thing I want to say is, and this is where the education comes in with crypto, you don't want to give people your money. Don't do that. Like anything that I've ever gotten involved in with crypto, the money always goes straight to you. Someone tried to introduce me to someone who was going to do some crypto transactions, and I just had a few questions, and I was like, so what are we doing with the money? She said, oh, you just send it to me and then I'll go and I'll trade it. And I said, but I don't know you. Yeah, but I mean, it's like a trust thing. I said, yeah, but I don't know you. Like, you could be going tomorrow. And she was like, well, you just have to trust me. Bye-bye, boo-boo. We're not doing that. So anything you do with crypto, in my humble opinion, you should have the control of the money. I love the space we're in right now with Trust Poly, because all the money goes to the people. There's no central organization holding money, right? And so when you're dealing with crypto, you want to make sure when you see money getting made, you see it getting made in your wallet.
Yeah.
You're not looking at some data in a computer somewhere. No, you want to look in your wallet that's in your hand and say, oh, I see the money grow. And that way, you know, it's for real. And that, again, is where the education comes. When I was educated about crypto, it was made very clear on how to store that money and where not to store it. Because some of these organizations, like in America, or PayPal, is PayPal a thing with overseas as well? Yeah. So even PayPal talks about we do Bitcoin. Hey, they got Bitcoin, but you can't take it out. Don't get it there. Like, so they got people just get it in there, but then they can't do anything with it. So, I mean, you just got to know what's going on with the crypto you're dealing with. Is it decentralized crypto or centralized crypto? If it's decentralized crypto, guess what? You have the power, because there's no central organization decentralized. But when it's a centralized entity, that means, oh, Coinbase, or companies, whatever, they own it. So if they leave tomorrow, they leave with your money. So you just got to know the difference so that you don't get had, because you'll get had in the crypto world if you're not educated, for sure.
Right. So you mentioned, I like you to focus on a few points that you just mentioned. Or just one point for beginners, because we have a lot of beginners, a lot of people that are on the fence. For beginners, what would you say are the simple checks people can do to avoid being scammed and stay safe? What are the simple steps?
Sure. Simple steps is the type of wallet you have. That's the first thing to me. Do you have a MetaMask wallet? Do you have a TP wallet, right? These are spaces that actually ask you, do you want to save a recovery phrase? It's like 12 words you get. Or do you have the private key? Like that's a warm wallet, like a MetaMask, like a TP is a first step. Have that. Because when you have other things, like I had one person ask in one of the environments I'm in, what about Robinhood? They have Robinhood here in America. Robinhood and PayPal and Coinbase and Cash App. Those are places that have crypto in it, but they're centralized, guys. That means you don't own it. They own it. So the first step is get a nice warm wallet, MetaMask, TP, and the like. And where you own that codes. You're the only one that have the codes. You're the only one that has them in your house. You're good. So that's the first step. Then you can look into putting crypto in that. Because once you have your wallet, you're good to go. So for beginners, that's your first step. And they're free. You don't have to spend money to go get a wallet. They're free. Just download them. If you got an iPhone or Android, you can still download the wallets. And they say, which one should I get? Talk to me call me on Facebook and I'll tell you. But you could just get whichever one feels normal. I really like TP right now. It's very simple. And that stands for token pocket. So that's the first step. Get a nice little digital wallet.
Right, great. Great. I think for me, I think one of the things I like to come into here is in terms of the banks, have they let us down? Have they? Is it could some people actually? I've heard them say the bank is the biggest scam that's ever happened. If you really think about it, what happens is you put your money in the bank and it stays there, and it doesn't really make you money unless you're willing to lock it down. But while it's there for 1 day or 2 days, the bank goes and trades with it and makes money out of it and makes profit out of it. And then we then end up having charges for them to make money out of our money. I mean, you think about it, you just have a middleman that's really in the middle, just making all the money from you holding the money in the bank. And that's one of the biggest scams that's ever been. We're talking about $1 trillion scam. And now what it is, the biggest problem with blockchain or with crypto was that initially the banks were saying it was a scam. Initially, the governments were saying it was a scam. Initially, the financial institutions were saying it's a scam. So what has changed since then? Why is it that most banks now are looking to have crypto? Because
you want me to answer
I'm going to answer it, and then I'm going to put it to you to add to it. I believe what's happened is if everyone goes this crypto route and goes this blockchain route, it cuts out the middleman. Now, who are the middlemen? The middlemen are the central authorities, and that is the banks and the financial. There will be no bank if everybody went on to trade through crypto. Yeah. And that is the biggest problem right now. So hence the reason why now all the banks are now saying, you know what, we accept crypto, come and deposit. And like I always say, the honey trap is there. That's your honey trap. Yeah. Because all they're trying to say is we need to monitor where all this money is flowing through. And we will help you because we will provide you with services like forgot password. Like I can't remember my account number, all right, this that. That's the services they're providing you, and will provide you the security. Now, just like Asada says, yes, they're providing you great security, yeah. But the problem is, the hackers love centralized authorities. They like centralized systems because they can hack that system and have everybody. Whereas in a decentralized system, they need to think about how am I going to hack all these thousands and millions of nodes and computers all around the world to be able to get that's too much hard work. It's not worth it. Yeah. So really what we've also got to be careful about, and Asada's touched on it in terms of even though we said centralized crypto, what we're looking at is a lot of crypto is on the blockchain. Yeah. But blockchains, we have different ones, public and private. And without blockchains, we don't have crypto. So just remember that. Now, the thing is, it's the centralized authorities that want control of your crypto. So that means the centralized authorities are trying to put a centralized angle on a decentralized currency.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem is right now. And everyone has to get educated. And that's the reason why I wrote that book, which was the Breaking Free book. Because the reason why, of course, they highlighted earlier, and you've also stressed earlier, the reason why people are getting scared of it, or the reason why people are in fear of it, or the reason why people have been scammed by it is through lack of knowledge. Yeah. And you listen to Boss, they're talking about rug pull or talking about how somebody says send money to this place, and you said it also. That's when alarm bells should come up, alarm bells. So really, I think from that angle, the banks are scared. They are running scared. Yeah. The governments are running scared because remember another thing about this whole thing, it's not a national currency. It's an international currency.
Right.
So there are no borders. There are no boundaries. So how do you tax this a massive thing? Yeah. And again, you don't know who has it, the wallet, unless you put them through a centralized authority so that they can get your name, address, the phone number, postcode, so that they can link that wallet to you and say, boss, we know you just did £100,000 of profit. We're going to tax you. Yeah, there's nothing wrong in paying tax. Tax runs the country. But what we need to know is we need to make sure that we pay tax on our profits. Not because a lot of people are worried about profits. People lose a lot of money. You have to, it's the net that's the profit. So that's my take. So Asad, I'm going to get you to come in here now because this is a interesting conversation we're having.
Sure. I think it's, the knowledge again. You hear, because you start mixing it all up, it gets real muddy, right? Someone the other day said, "Oh, we can't do crypto in our country." And I was like, "Well, how they know you're doing it? Like, they don't know. They don't even know that you have a wallet. They don't know anything. There's nothing connecting you to." That's the beauty of a decentralized system, is that there's nothing connecting you to them. Now, what they do know is that people aren't educated. So even on the American tax forms, they ask you the question, "How much Bitcoin did you make last year?" And they put that question because you know what they know? They know that you don't know to say none of your business. I'm just saying it, right? But the reality is, even if you did make 10,000 in Bitcoin in a year, where's it recorded? Where can they find that? Where can it be connected to you? Like, that doesn't exist in the crypto world, in the decentralized world. And so, but if you made 10,000 in Bitcoin and you took it out and put it through Cash App, Coinbase, and took it out and turned it to fiat in their world, now they can see it. And now they can throw words at you like regulation and all these other things because you brought it into their world. And so the key is to make you some decentralized money, and then we do some decentralized things with it, right? And not have to always think about, well, putting our crypto in this fiat world. The word fiat, if you weren't here earlier, just means money from the government, from money from like in America, Federal Reserve and what have you. And so the education is just key so you can tell the difference. And again, break away from this mentality that you are controlled and can't do anything. That is where we're moving out from and into a place where you can do things and you can be free doing financial transactions.
Thank you, Asad. I want to bring Joe in. Joseph is around and he's been itching to come. But Joseph is a security man. Security. Now, when it comes to security and data, Joe, I know Joe will look at. Joe will look at. Let me just bring him in. Joe will look at crypto. He will look at blockchain from the security angle. And the security angle is always the angle that we don't really like to hear about, but I think it's very interesting to hear. So, Joe, do you think hi, Joe, how you doing?
Hey,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Joe. If we can't hear you, Joe. If we can't hear you, we can't say yes.
Oh, can you hear me? Okay, right. Sorry.
Yeah, you see how Joe is. You see how Joe is. I cracked a joke, and
We love a brother like that. Go ahead, Joe.
Joe is security, man. Joe,
That's right.
He's a CIA man. I tell you, he's an FBI. He's a MI5 man.
I don't know about CIA.
You see, I got a smile. You see, I got a smile from him when I said that because that's his element, man. Yeah. So, Joe, what's your opinion? Is crypto risky? What do you say?
No, it's not risky. As you said earlier on, I was listening tentatively. It isn't risky. It's only risky from a human perspective. Ooh. This is what we call social engineering. Social engineering are basically scams that have been around for centuries, ways of getting people's information so they can utilize it. So the biggest scam, the biggest worry is not the system itself. It's not a computer system because your system is stored in thousands and millions of data all around the world, peer to peer. So in order for a hacker to get onto the system, it will need to hack into thousands of computers. But the issue is the problem comes from us, the human being. When we use agent in order to progress our transaction on crypto. From that point of view, we give them information to allow them to hack us, to allow them to steal our money. The reason why we need crypto, people have been made redundant. Their pension has been taken away by taxation, by government. This is in England. Sorry, it's not America. This is in England. So now we're worried about when we retire, where do we get the money to pay for our living expenses, mortgages, living, holiday. So we use crypto as a way of creating wealth when we're unable to work full time. And then because of that fear, we use agent, because lack of knowledge, as Asada said, that we use an agent, we give them all our information, I will come back, I invest your money, and then they use the psychology. If you give me your money now, you can earn within 2 months, within 1 week, over thousands and thousands of pounds. And you buy into the social engineering psychology, and you pay your money and they steal your money. And in conclusion, the human are the problem, not the scammer, not the hacker.
1,000%.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I was surprised. I was expecting. The security. They're all like very serious. They're like, no, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Lock it up. Yeah. But Joe's coming from a different perspective, and I think that's quite interesting. I don't know whether you want to add anything to that, Asada, at all.
I do. I do. Everything you say, I want to add to it. So what I love about what Joe said is this human error aspect. People say a lot of logical things about why people should do this and that. Oh, you should do crypto because of this, or you should do it because of that. But humans don't think in logic. Humans do things for emotional reasons. Period. Even when, I've been in crypto environments, and this is another thing I love about when I enter into a crypto space, there has to be a smart contract, because a smart contract takes out that emotional nonsense that humans bring when there's no smart contract. I've been in an environment with a no smart contract, and just in case you're watching and you don't know what that is, smart contracts make it so that transactions happen with just automatically 24/7, right? No human going, I'm out to lunch. Hey, I'm closed today. Those are human things. You need to rest. And so when you're dealing with a smart contract, you don't have that, right? And so what Joe is saying is so important, because these systems, like being in a crypto place that has a smart contract, everything is automatic, it's foolproof, working, and you don't see mishaps. Because in that other environment I was in, because of that emotion, I had done so much work. But because somebody said, Asada is whatever they said, they actually chopped my organization in half and put people somewhere else and took them away from me. And I was like, what? Like, trying to look at what do you mean? And that's human stuff. That's emotional stuff. That's, you make decisions based on, I don't like this and none of that. So I love the crypto space, both decentralized, needing a smart contract for me, because it takes that out. And you're not worried about whether you like me or not, or blah, 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 blah. If you don't like me, guess what? The money's still going to come anyway. It's coming all night, and you can't do anything about it. And so, yeah, I love the security aspect of a smart contract, because I don't have to worry about, did they add that right? Wait a minute, did you cheat me? Do you owe me money? Nope. Smart contract has it all together organized.
I just wanted to add to that. With crypto and Bitcoin, you need to know the basic. Either you buy a book or you come to training like yours, Asada, and learn the basic. Learn the basics so that you can make informed decision in relation to such an investment. However big, you need to learn. The other issue is legislation. Legislation are not there. Decentralized takes your money. Centralized basically allows government to monitor your transaction. Decentralized allows no government, it has no boundaries. As what Tony said, we live in a global economy where we live in Africa, we can do transaction in Portugal, in China, in Asia. That is the beauty of this digital market we have. Decentralized, what Tony's book is all about, is very important in terms of education, knowing the basics.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. And I think there's some great interesting nuggets here. You can't see it because of the background.
Oh man, I'm trying to show my book.
Don't worry. You can't see it. Oh, you can see it now. You can see it once it's on your face. Once it's on your mouth, you can see it. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, so breaking through is all about education, and we'll talk more about that again later. I just want to bring Bosse in here because I know she's looking lonely over there. But she's
eager to join in.
Before I bring her in, I want to just understand something. You see, Joe and Asada mentioned and I also mentioned that there's no boundaries. Yeah, there's no borders, and that is the biggest problem that governments have. That is the biggest problems that banks have. Because remember, that's their money. That's their money. The borders are the way they can charge. Yeah, the change of currencies from dollars into pounds, into sterling, into euros. That's where their money is. Yeah, and now you're telling them that you can send money to Nigeria within a few seconds, and there are no borders, there are no charges, and it will hit your account in 3 or 4 seconds.
Yes,
that's crazy. That's a whole new world. Yeah, but a whole new world that the centralized system doesn't want you to know, because if you know it, oh wow. See, I have companies that you send money to them, and it takes sometimes days, if not for them to acknowledge they've received the money. Imagine you can send that money through crypto and it's there within 5 seconds. That means your product can be released. Everyone is in good state. And then guess what? You can even check. They can check. It's all visible. There's no hiding place. The transactions are all transparent. It's amazing. That's the key thing.
So, Tony, before this, I literally helped a sister in South Africa sign up and get herself ready to receive Polygon. And while I've been on this screen with you, she has now started to sign up her son, who is also in South Africa, to do the same thing. And then at least another person, I think he's in New York, helped him get set up to start doing Polygon. So even like in minutes before getting on, I said, I got 10 minutes, let's go. And to be able to make transactions in 10 minutes and get it and I'm influencing the world, like global economies. Come on now. This is a different game, baby. This is a different type of freedom for sure.
Now, can you see why the governments are scared? Can you see why the banks are scared? Can you see why the financial institutions? Because only the few know this. But if the majority know this, then it's a big problem for them.
Yeah.
So Bosse, what I want to do, Bosse, is now, do you think crypto could become the new passport for global work and economic empowerment? So what do you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because of what you just mentioned, is the fact that you can do borderless transactions. You can, trade globally, and you're not going to be charged for it. So if you think about if we think about Africa, we think about Asia, Africa, and in particular Nigeria, there's a lot of people now trading using crypto. And if, for example, you don't have access to the banking infrastructure, then crypto allows you to have access to money, because you don't need a bank. You just need a phone, and then you need to be able to create a digital wallet. So of course it's gonna open the global market. It's gonna give people a lot more access. It's gonna decrease, hopefully, the economic gap between people that have less money and don't have access to banks and stuff like that. So absolutely.
Fantastic. I think with Asada, in your case, you teach on wealth building through crypto. You also so how can digital money, or we say in crypto, give Black communities more control, access, and ownership? How can it do that for them?
See, guys, here's the deal. The rules are different here. Guess what? In what we're used to, you don't make no rules. You just shut your mouth and you just take what you're going to get. Go ahead and work all those hours. We'll be back to come take some of that, just so you know, right? That's the taxing and whatever. So the rules were made by someone else some time ago. But with crypto, you make your own rules. And that, again, is the game changer, because people don't really understand what freedom. Black people worldwide, whether we went through colonialism or slavery, we talk about freedom. But the problem with that is that we talk about it in regards to somebody giving it to us. Don't nobody give you no freedom. What are you talking about? They don't have it to give. It's something you have to assume. You have to assume freedom. And you assume it by increasing your skill set. Do you know how to be free? Well, guess what? You just got to be free. It's nothing. It's not a toolkit you got to get from Target or something, or from the store. You just have to make a different type of decision that allows you to benefit. And nobody gets to take anything from you. So that is where we're going. Whoever created crypto, that was the mindset. Let's put the power in the hands of the people, right? And so with that, I think that's the biggest shift, is trying to figure out, can I be? It's almost like, can I be powerful? Can I run everything? It's almost like we want to add trouble in. But wait a minute. What about regulation? Girl, sit down. Go regulate your own life. Go write down your password and go sit down and go get you some money. It's just a different mindset of empowerment, of being empowered. When I wrote Bitcoin for Black people, it wasn't really to talk about the minutia of the breakdown of Bitcoin. It's more about helping us see that wealth is not a stranger to Black people. I don't care if you look at King Mansa Musa from Mali. He's the richest man in the world, even bigger than Bezos and all of them. But he's us. And we need to understand that wealth is not a stranger to us. It's just that wealth in this day and age is going to come from crypto, period. The other money, they don't even print fiat money in America anymore. They stopped printing it 2 years ago. So crypto is the way you're going to get wealthy, but you got to get rid of your fear of it to make it. That's the only thing holding you back, is your fear of failed things before. And I'll finish with this thought. I always say, if you drive a car and if car breaks down, you don't stop driving. You keep driving. You just go get a new car. And that is the situation with crypto. You was in something before that didn't work. Who cares? Go find something that works. And so that's just how I see that in my own life. I find environments that work. I found an environment that works. Boom, make crypto, and then just show other people how to do it, so that we are not in trouble. We're going to be in trouble. If you don't get crypto in your life now, you're going to be in trouble, because they're coming with a lot of things. I don't like the word scheme. It's so corny, but they're going to come with a lot of little bells and whistles to make you think it's a thing. But you got to know the difference between the bells and whistles and real crypto, and having it so that you can be free and nobody will be in control of what you do, not you or your children.
Thank you. I think there's some powerful things. Take control, take responsibility. We've got to do that. I think, Boss, just adding a bit on yours, do you think crypto is closing or widening the economic gap?
I think it's actually going to be, it's already making a big impact in Africa and Asia. So therefore, it is actually closing the economic gap. And the reason I say that is because in Nigeria, 40% of the adult population are using crypto. They own crypto. 47%, which is fantastic, you know. And Nigeria is actually leading the way in crypto in Africa. They are ranked as the first of the highest total of volume of crypto transactions. And if you think about it, it's fantastic. And I say, what connects the dots for me in terms of this economic gap and is the fact that I always go back to that story to do with SARS, because once you understand the power of how this digital currency has impacted a country, a nation, you will then you'll be drawn in as to why it's important. So go back to SARS. That's when it connected the dots for me. SARS goes back to COVID, yeah, when there was oppression by the police in Nigeria, the anti-bribery police, and they were mishandling protesters. They were beating them up, and they were putting them into jail. And then the people had no the people that were protesting thousands of people who were protesting had no money, and they couldn't work during that period, so they were being oppressed. And if it wasn't for the activists, the young activists, and there's a particular one, female activist, that created a digital app, an app to receive Bitcoin from all around the world, these people wouldn't have survived. That connected the dots for me. I understand how it can impact a country. It can impact a nation. It bypassed the government and it allowed them to receive donations to survive, you know, to carry on, you know. So that's the importance. It connected the dots for me. And the world is becoming cashless. So if a market trader in Nigeria, Africa, or Asia has got a phone and can receive Bitcoin, there's hope for them in building their digital money. You know, it's a technology that it's got massive impact. It's having the impact already. Asia is leading in the total number of crypto transaction. Nigeria is leading in Africa with 47%. Their transactions total half the amount in Africa, almost half the amount, 97 million. Million. 97 million. Can you imagine? Almost half the crypto transactions are coming from Nigeria itself. So this is the chance for all the developing countries to actually use a technology that will allow them to have a lot more digital currency and wealth.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. That's good points. Yeah. So Sally, you want to say something now?
I just want to say something. Earlier when we had come on live, I asked Bose about her connection to crypto with what she is as a data specialist. That's how, baby girl, just what you just said. That is why you are relevant, because you have that daggone data that we need to go ahead and thrust through and get the confidence to do this and to say it works. And you have the information we need to know that it works. Because I didn't have that data. I'm like, what?
And may I say, that data can be fact checked on Chain Analysis and TRM Labs, because that's where it came from. It's not coming from me. Baby. It's coming from the people that have done the statistics, worked it all out, you know, put it on their website. All I did was go and research it like the rest of us. You know, I just go and research
just like the rest of us are not going to do. Thank you very much. That's why you're relevant, because we're not going to do it. You're going to do it.
Joe, before the ladies take over, they said before you came on the call, I was disgusted. They said, "Who runs the world? Girls." I've heard that. Who run the world? I don't believe Joe. But Joe, let's take you from a security.
Who run the world? Yeah.
Is this a song?
Yeah. They say it's just a song.
I beg to differ somewhat.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Joe, let's get you from a professional point of view.
James Brown says, "Man rule the world." Anyway, that's another matter. Yeah.
All right. So Joe, let me just come in here from a security angle also. So do you think the Black community are being targeted more for crypto scams, or is it equal across the population? What do you think?
I don't think ethnic minorities got anything to do with it. I think what it is that the ethnic minority are not all. I'm not generalizing. Here. I'm not generalizing. I'm just saying that we need financial education in order to understand crypto. We need to know that we still believe in the philosophy of work till you die, work until your pension, without financial independence. And I just wanted to add to Boss said, the key to crypto is financial independence, bypassing the centralized system. Keep on repeating and becoming centralized. Our government are putting hands in every transaction we make. If we make a little profit, if we sell a pair in the high street, the one that pours on it. Yeah. But we need our own financial independence. Yeah. But I don't think, just to answer your question, I don't think Black people are being targeted. You may think they've been targeted because lack of education. Yes, you could say that. Because you hear so many good things about crypto. You can make this amount of money within a certain amount of time, and there's no such thing as quick money. But there's such things as educating yourself in financial independence. That's why my findings and research show that we need financial education, and we're not particularly being targeted in terms of our ethnic background.
Okay,
unless you have a different data.
I'm gonna tell you what I think in that, and it's not based on no research, it's just an observation. I think we create our own verbiage around scam out of fear. Because if you look at the people who call things a scam, look at what they are as people. Are they hiding? Are they lying? Are they I find that sound people make sound decisions. Oh, crypto works. Okay, hold on. Oh, really? That's a good business model. Blah, blah, blah. I don't even, when people, it's so funny. When people say things like, oh, is that a pyramid? I'll be like, first of all, we fund the pyramids greater than anything you could do. But second of all, I don't know anything more of a pyramid than boss, manager, staff, employee. Your whole structure, you've been rocking a pyramid and you ain't getting to the top. So that's not what we're dealing with here. But I think that people conjure up these concepts based on their own fear and lack of knowledge. And if you look at the source of the people who say things are scams, you just got to look at them as beings. Would you follow them? Would you listen to what they had to say? When people go online and find things, I say that's like me going to find the Ku Klux Klan to ask them about Black people. I wouldn't do that. They don't have any words. They can't give any words about my people. They don't like my people. So if people are saying they don't like crypto and they don't, let's look at them. Who knows what they are? But I think you can make your own sound decisions based on what you learn and what you experience. Like I said, crypto saved my life during the pandemic, period. I could not go out and do any work, but I was able to be home and work with crypto. And that is what we lived off of from 2020 to now, to the point where I even wrote a book to help other people know more about the industry.
Right, fantastic, guys. But I think, Bossa, do you want to say anything about what Joe said before I go and talk about what I think?
I think with the, because you talked about the Black community, weren't you?
We're talking about Black community. Are they targeted more for scams or for are they targeted more when it comes
I think
to scams?
I think that they are in some cases, and I'm not saying that it's in isolation, but there are in some cases, because some of the people that I've met that have been victims of scams, they've been part of big church networks, and they've had someone come and talk to not necessarily the congregation, but a lot of people in their church about an investment scheme, and then they've all joined that scheme, and then, as I said, the rug's being pulled from under them. But it all boils down to lack of education, lack of financial literacy. So if you learn about all of this stuff by reading that Break Free book, you can't get caught out by anybody, because people take advantage of the fact that you don't know enough about something.
Yes.
You know? And we're all gullible to trust, people that can romance us with words and, I've done this, I've got this money, and blah, blah, blah. We're all gullible to it. But once we've got that informed, once we've been informed, we have that information, we can make better decisions. But we're making decisions without having the knowledge, And like you said, this is a chance for people that don't have, that don't have much. So there's a lot of people in the community that may be suffering from, not having a job. This is another chance to actually, this is a chance for me to actually come out of my situation, my bad financial situation, and actually have some wealth, But I do need to understand what this is all about before I join it, and that's reading the book, So if our community do not become financial literate, they'll get left behind.
Ooh.
They'll get left behind. Because when I check the rankings, Africa's, as I said, there's Africa and Asia leading the way in Bitcoin transactions and owning Bitcoin. But in the UK, it was ranked very low in terms of transactions, Bitcoin, crypto transactions. They were ranked 30 something or something much lower down. Which means, and then within that, you've got the ethnic groups. So you can see it's going to be a very small slice.
Right. Well, from the sounds of it, asking that question, Joseph thinks they're not being targeted. It's like, doesn't matter. I think Asada, I'm not too sure. You were on the border. Were you on the border?
Yeah, it's not because it's not race based.
Yeah.
It is the person based. Like, and out of the people that are insecure, are there more insecure white people or more insecure black people? It kind of that's kind of how I see that, is that we make up things because we're so scared in general about our place in the world. We haven't staked the place at the table, the decision-making table, as a race. And that does come from not acknowledging who we are, not realizing that the world runs on how we operate, from music to science to everything. But when we come to that realization, I think we'll come to the table with a better decision making, because we already acknowledge our power. So it becomes an issue of race just based on our makeup as a race, and how we create scary things to prevent us from taking responsibility and taking care of it.
But sorry.
No, one second. I think, and obviously Bosse was more saying that we are more targeted based on the fact that we have communities, and then we have leaders within that community, and a lot of the leaders are targeted by certain schemes, and they bring them into the community, whether it's a church community, whether it's something. And also remember, we've also had all these things where you put money in and everybody waits for their turn and things like that go on and so on. I think what it means is, like you said already, it sounds like lack of education when it comes to the whole thing, because when you think about it, if you know what it's all about, then you won't do certain things. And also, Asada mentioned smart contract, which is obviously what I write, smart contracts. And smart contracts takes the emotional and the human element out. So therefore it's going to run 24/7. And I think that's what people need to understand. When you get involved in this world of the crypto world, start looking at things like smart contracts, start looking at things like learning about stable coins, start learning about wallets and things like that. But that's your first port of call. Start understanding what a blockchain is and so on. And I think, Joe, you wanted to say something when I cut you off just now.
You say, Asada and yourself have said it really, is the process isn't difficult. It's only that it's not in particularly related to Black people. It's just simply because of lack of education. And a lack of education either makes you invest in crypto, or lack of education in terms of financial tools may not make you may create the fear. But I also like to add what everybody's been saying is that there is a lot of media being published regarding crypto scam. Yeah. And that sort of put some people off. But because they have not read or educate themselves, they take word for word what the media is basically publishing. And they have not bothered to deep into what type of it is. And they have not understood that you only get scammed by human error, rather than if you educate yourself, you'll make the proper decision.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's good. That's a good point, Joe. Because usually, if there is a crypto scam, it's blown up. Bam, big news. Bam, big news. It's like there was one recently where a Chinese woman, and it says crypto queen. Bang, $10 billion worth of Bitcoin found. And you think, wow, 10 billion. And what she did is she scammed all these people. Yeah. And I'm thinking, she's got 10 billion. Surely she could pay these people back. but and then they asked the person, so what's going to happen to all these crypto coins you got? And are you going to give it back to the people, or does it become the government's whatever? And they kind of smirked and said, well, we'll see what we're going to do with that. That 10 billion. So yeah, I think, we've got that problem whereby whenever there's something bad about crypto, it's blown out. And the reason why it's blown out, listen carefully why it's blown out. Centralized authority, centralized systems. They need to keep their jobs. Yeah. At the moment, the wealth is earned by the few. Yeah. And if the few can keep that happening, they don't want you to know about crypto. They don't want you to know about being able to transfer money to Nigeria without having going through well, let me not mention names anyway, going through a certain exchange system that takes part of your money before you send it, cuts part of your money before you send it. Yeah. Whereas this transaction fee is very minute. You won't even feel it, and it's going to be there in seconds. And you don't need to bring your passport or your ID card or anything like that, because as soon as it hits your phone. So these are things. And I think before we go on to the last segment that we're going to look at is, could crypto become another system where the rich get richer unless communities get educated early? Could it be?
So the only advantage that the rich have is that they have been rocking with crypto for over a decade, right? So in terms of timing, they've had enough expendable money to do some things in crypto. So they started early. Like I started when crypto was like $1,000, Now, but we could give them a run for their money now, though, baby. Before, you would look at somebody rich and be like, one day I want to be like that, or whatever you're talking about. But with crypto, I can give you a run for your money because there are no boundaries on me and my community making it. When you go to the Black community in America, guess what is everywhere? In gas stations, ATM, it's Bitcoin ATMs throughout the whole Black community in America. Why? Because there's been a certain population in the Black community that's been using Bitcoin for over a decade. Now, not going to talk about that, but the point is we just need a plan. We just need a plan. And it doesn't have to be that there's a big gap between the rich and the poor anymore. The only thing is just what each group believes they can do. What do they believe they can achieve? And I think that those of us that are not used to wealth have an issue with becoming it. How can I become something I don't have a frame of reference for? Like, I don't even know anybody rich other than, she sings and he plays ball or whatever. But to get this education, I'm going to tell you, it warms my heart on a daily basis to hear the common man say things like, you want me to go back and press the go choose my wallet address? Because I can send it over to my MetaMask. I do have MetaMask. Like the regular lady with a headscarf on, talking about telling her friend, look, this one lady one time was like, I'm not technologically advanced. I can't. In 2 days, here she go on the phone with her friend. Girl, just go down. Now scroll down a little bit. Now go press see where it say wallet. Now go, and I mean, she was just running it. And I'm like, look at the skill set. In 2 days, this person's skill set. When these people come on my webinar and they learn about cryptocurrency, blockchain, they learn about stores of value, they learn about a Trezor, they're leaving those webinars with data they can now go and employ. When they read Breaking Free is breaking down everything I talk about in that webinar. So my thing is this: race, wealth, poor, at this point in the game is all decision. You ain't gonna decide your race, but you can decide your socioeconomic level though at this juncture, because you can come in the crypto world and you can just put your head to the ground and make it happen, and nobody can see anything. They can't say, wow, there's a lot of wealth being born in the zip code of this and this and that. Talk about the Black community. They can't look, you can't even tell where Bitcoin is growing. You can't tell, so we will lessen that gap if we just get rid of our fear and then get to planning for ourselves and get confident that nobody can do anything to you. This was made so that the people can have power, and we just gotta be comfortable with having power. So, Rich, here we come, baby. Don't you worry. We'll get here in a minute.
So you've answered the question, in a roundabout way.
You know I do roundabout.
Yeah,
you know that.
Yeah. Because what we said is, could it become crypto make the rich richer? Yeah, if the communities, the Black community especially, don't get educated. So what you've said is your education, and people attending your education will be able to obviously be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, we'll create a dent in that bad boy. That's my goal.
But the flip to that is, if they don't get educated, then the rich, crypto will be now for the rich, which will make them richer. Yeah.
I also like to add, scammers attack community that easily influence.
Yeah.
And not educated. So they're easily to persuade them to their ways. Yeah. So that's not particularly associated or connected to Black people, but that is the concept they use in order to exploit an environment. Church, as you mentioned, that has major influence, but no education on these financial tools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great. So Bosse, what do you? I know you do lots of facts. So what do the facts say now when it comes to scam or biggest lie when we talk about crypto?
What do the facts say? Yeah. Well, okay, we're not gonna. Okay, well, can I break down to answer that question? I'm going to break down a few things first. So let's look at the scams in terms. If we look at the table, the three most common scams are the high yield investment schemes, which make up 50% of scams. After that, it's pig butchering scams, which are the romance crypto scams, and then the last 18% is shared between phishing scams and those emails and all those little other things. So high yield investment scams make up, as I said, 50%. Now in 2024, the total number of transactions, crypto transactions that went through, it came to 10.6 trillion. And this is, as I said, I'm going to use those websites.
Even in a million, trillion.
10.6 trillion total in 2024, the total number of crypto transactions. Now, in terms of the total number that were illicit, which are illegal, those illegal scams, all the transactions that are flagged up as, fraudulent transactions, they made up 0.4%, and that's around 45 billion. So even though that's a high number, it's still a small percent that's actually represents scams. So therefore, a lot of people are making a lot of money through crypto. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if you look at those, I go on stats. Yes, people are getting scammed, but people are also making a lot of money, and the scams are a small percentage, but there's still a lot of money. There's still a lot of money. So I think that crypto being called a scam is a scam, and it's actually stopping the people that need to know about it the most in progressing with it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You know, and if they can, if that continues, then what's going to happen is it will widen the economic gap.
Yeah,
it will widen it, because the rich will get richer because they can absorb risk and they can buy significant portions, and the poor will get poorer, and it's scary. It's scary.
yeah.
I'd like to ask certain questions. This is where I asked these questions. Really interesting. Related.
Okay, before you ask that question, I want to just respond to Bossa, please. Yeah, I think you're talking about the percentage of scams are less compared to the whole
the total number of transactions,
which is obviously good news for everybody.
Yeah,
it doesn't, but the thing is, one thing I'd like to just say. So what you're saying is it's calling crypto, which is the title, calling crypto a scam is actually a scam.
Of course it is.
Yeah. So what we're saying here, if I'm right, is the scammers are calling crypto a scam. Yeah. So because there's a saying that says it takes one to know one.
Take one to know one.
And when someone's lying about a system being a scam, that means they have interest in saving themselves. So they need to kill off something so that they can survive.
Wow.
So those people, and I'm sure we're not going to have to say them, but you know who you are, and you know why you're saying it. And some of you now that called it a scam are now saying you can now deposit your scam inside our organization, without calling out any names. And so this is the problem. This is the confusion with the public at the moment. The public are confused. They're like, the people we trust are the centralized systems, but now they're saying something is not good, so therefore we trust what they say. That's one of the biggest. But then that will then widen the economic gap. So the rich will always get richer, because I tell you one thing about the rich: they don't store any money in the bank. It's the poor people that tend to store money in the bank. The rich people tend to invest their money. The rich people make their money work. The bank will never make your money work the way you can make your money work.
That's right.
As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the banks, they should be paying us money every day for having our money in the bank, because they are trading our money every day. They're using our money every day to make money, and they're not putting any zeros at the end of the money. Yeah, and that's the key thing. So I just wanted to bring that up because I didn't want to lose that train of thought. So I think, Asada, you okay with that?
I'm good with you. I'm good. My man, I want to hear my man John. He had a point. I want to hear that.
Joseph, come on. We're ready for your question.
Joseph, come on.
We're ready for your question.
Yeah. What question is about this scam? Because I'm presently writing a book on social engineering, which is scam. Yeah, and as I'm cybersecurity, most of the time I deal with precedents. That means cases. For the cases that has been going on with scams and social engineering, with cryptocurrency, with systems, with bank, we can't exclude the bank from this process of scam, because if every day internal or external hackers are trying to get into our system in order to obtain information so they can scam us, identity thefts. I myself have been scammed before, most recently, and I'm in cybersecurity. So you can see how difficult is. And with the advent of AI, it's a lot easier now. The question I wanted to ask the panel is, who do you think does the biggest scam? External actors or internal actors? What I mean by external actors, like those who do social engineering, write emails, send emails out, send out emails to companies, individuals, hack your mobile, your tablet. Who do you think has the highest percentage proportion who do these things to compromise our livelihood? Who do you think is an external or internal?
So, do you want to take that?
I want to read the definition of scam because we keep saying it, but
Yeah.
I want us to understand what it means, right? So it says a confidence game or other fraudulent scheme,
Yeah.
especially for making a quick profit, a swindle. The reason why I want to read that is because, and this is for those of you that are out there doing things, but you know you're doing things that come from your heart. And you know you're doing good work. And you get people calling your work a scam. If what you're doing has the intention to help, as opposed to having the intention to swindle somebody, because there are people out there who have the intention to swindle people, then you don't have to worry about them calling you a scam. You let them have that. That's what they're talking about, because you know it's not. Scams involved the intention to destroy, the intention to, like it said, swindle. They are, I'm saying hi to you and I'm a white man in an army suit, but I'm really a black woman with a head wrap, but I'm trying to get you to talk to me. That's a scam because I'm lying, right? So scams involve lying, they involve trickery. But if you know you're doing work that is helping others, it's just that people want to call it a scam or they don't like you. So what? Let them call it that. But I just wanted us to differentiate that, because we get very offended a lot of times when people call our work a scam and we know it's not. You have to let those people stay in where they are, because that's where they are, or else you'll crumble. But when you know you're doing good work, oh no, the good forces got your back and your front and your side. And so you just keep doing your good work. So I just wanted to say that. So I know that didn't specifically answer about the internal and external, but I did want to define scam, because you do have these things like, I'm going to send this email and they're going to think it's this, but it's really that. Yep, that's a scam because of the intention of what they're doing, and they're doing it in an underhanded way, right? And so, yeah, I just wanted to make it clear so that we don't get, it's not about an opinion. It's about the intention of the thing. So I just wanted to bring that point up about the word scam. So Joe, look, Joe, don't kill me and answer that question directly.
No, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
good.
I just had to say that.
Yeah. Okay, Bosse, do you want to answer Joe's question?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, because you're going to educate me here, because I'm going to assume that it's external. Is it people hacking into systems and whatever? I don't know. You're going to surprise me. Is it the external rather than the internal?
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I mean, I think I agree with Joe. It's internal. Yeah.
Did you know that, though?
I want you to make that clearer. I don't think I'm clear on the difference.
Okay. What
Like,
I'm
what's
saying
external,
is
what's internal? I'm not clear.
what's internal, what they define what external is people that work in important places who steal our details and sell it on the black market.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So an agent comes to you and says, I want to invest your money. You need to give me your details.
Okay.
I've got an organization that does that. But gets your information, gets your background, you invest, you put the money in, but it says your detail to 3 or 4 other agents.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're the one that do the most damage. They're
I
the
see.
one that's internal. You trusted them to give them you trusted them, and banks are also like that. You know, I'm not mentioning a bank.
Yeah.
People within that work within the bank can get hold of your detail and sell it on the black market and make lots of money. You pay a banker club £25,000 a year, but it makes that in a week with your detail.
Mm.
So which is more profitable? I'm in the system, I don't need to hack. I'm in the network, I don't need to do anything but just access the data.
Mm. Gotcha.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
what we needed
Yeah.
to know that.
All right. Well, we're rounding up now. So what I want to do is let's end up with empowerment. Yeah. Because what do we want our communities to get our communities ready? Yeah. So I want to say, Asada, because obviously I can see you're into empowerment. So what should a complete beginner do in the first 30 days of learning crypto? Say they said, right, I've decided, I've watched this, and now I'm on board. Now, what should they do in the first 30 days? What advice can you give them?
Sure. First and foremost, I think that working by yourself is just whack. I just don't do that. You can do that. A lot of people in the crypto world work by themselves and they make decisions by themselves, and it's secret. But I don't feel like the crypto world has to be that or should be that. I personally, like I mentioned, always make sure I'm part of an accelerated program. And what that means is it's something that is going to help push me forward with my crypto application and knowledge. And so in your first 30 days, find you a nice cryptified family. That's what I say. Make sure they're cryptified, right? And that means that we think crypto, we do crypto, we know crypto. I like when people with crypto come to ask me questions that they think I'm a trip on. I don't have to be a big expert to know it. So I want you to surround yourself with people that can give you good crypto information, right? And then go ahead and find that wallet that makes you feel good. It's easy to work with, right? I'm going to tell you to come see my workshop. That's what I'm going to say. I do them every other day, and I think you will learn a lot because I break it down. So I need you to just learn it. The guy in one of my videos says, go on Google and read about it, but it's so much out there. You almost don't know where to go, but find a trusted source in cryptocurrency. It could be me, but you find that trusted source and then get your data, get your wallet, and then find a way to start making it. You might take $100. What can I do with this? You want to buy some Bitcoin? Good. You want to come roll at us and make some Polygon? Good. Get you some $5.99 and I'll show you how to do that. So I think it's just find a good environment, get your wallet, and then keep learning. We're going to all keep learning because crypto is new to the world relatively. It's been out for over a decade, but it's not too late. You can find out about it and you can still make it, and you can have, as on my phone while I'm sitting here, somebody just got their 5-year-old rolled up with crypto and they're going to help them grow. So there's some different rules, guys. Learn the rules, make the rules. That's what I say in your first 30 days of crypto. That's what I say.
Learn the rules and make the rules. Wow.
That's right.
Okay, so Bosse, which skills will matter the most in the digital money world? What do you say? Or the crypto world, let's say. Because we don't want to get confused. Yeah. Skills.
Well, you need to educate yourself. So your financial literacy skills are going to matter. Understanding what blockchain is, the digital currencies, decentralized finance. So I think the most important skill is the financial literacy skills. You need to understand things, and then you can make informed decisions. And I think, like Asada says, if you can join a community, I think it's even better. And I think the world is moving towards community anyway, sort of thing. And as she's advertising, that book is the best book to start from, because everything is broken down so simply. You can read that book in 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours.
Absolutely.
And you need to have financial literacy. Please do not let, if you've had a bad experience, start again. You know, to the people that have had a bad experience, start again. Go and understand things from the beginning and then work your way up. But don't get left behind, because the world is changing, and the people that get left behind will literally be left behind.
Right,
yeah. So the skills
Thank you.
saying is financial literacy skills.
Okay. Yeah. And Joe, we always go back to you from the cyber. The simply, just give us. I know you're complicated, but just give us the simplest cyber safety advice to protect your.
Thank you very much for your introduction. Much appreciated.
We love you. We love you, Joe. We ain't paying him no mind.
Basically, protect your key, your cryptocurrency wallet key. Keep it. Protect your password. Do not put it on the internet or your social media, or your write it down on paper, which they cannot hack. Use strong password. Yeah. Start small. Learn the basic, and then proceed from the basic. As what Ashada said, get into a community that will educate you, and you will educate them. Yeah. Basically, fact check all the information you're given about investment in terms of cryptocurrency. Fact check them, validate them. Yeah. And yeah, so really, you need to be informed. In conclusion,
Absolutely.
what you need to do is to learn the basic. That's what we've been saying all along. Yeah. And keeping good record on paper, and getting yourself knowledge, and be safe online, and be safe with what people tell you regarding such crypto investment. So that's why I would say, in general, from a high level point of view, in terms of crypto.
All right. I think obviously I'd like to add some more to that, because obviously from my view, I am a developer also, and I write smart contracts, and I'm on the blockchain. And obviously when we write smart contracts, security is at the front of everything before we even have the system, because there's no point having a system that's open to hacking. And I think one of the things, like Joe said, is the wallet. And as Asada mentions about hot wallets, warm wallets, cold wallets, you get educated. I think Asada's saying join a community, and Asada's community is amazing. I've come on her calls. They're amazing. I can go on them 20 times. I'm still learning something 20 times. Yeah. So that's the good thing about it. So I'd say definitely get in touch with us. Leave some comments on that. But I think also with the wallet side of things is, remember, with the wallets, they don't hold, even though we give the impression they hold the currency, they don't hold the currency, they hold the key to the currency. Because all your currency, all your crypto is on the blockchain. All of it's on the blockchain. But the keys to open it are inside the wallets. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you're holding, but the problem is, if you understand that, then you understand how hackers get into your money. Because if you give them access to the key, as Joseph says, then they have access to the blockchain where your money is located, and they can then do transfers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's different security of wallets. Yeah. The one that we talk about, cold wallet holds the key. Yeah. And it's not online all the time. The problem we have is some of us have our wallets sometimes we have it on a mobile, and we rely on those wallets on our mobile. Now think about it. If the mobile crashes, what happens? You need to make sure education again happens here, isn't it? People feel that they've been scammed when their mobile crashes and they can't get access to their money. They haven't been scammed. What's happened is that they haven't learned the fact that they need private keys, seed keys, and all this stuff going on. Education, a lot of education. That comes obviously from the book, and also the book, Breaking Free book, and also by joining a community that can educate you. Because sometimes you definitely need a community on this, because it's a big thing. It's a big transformation. Yeah. And then also what we have to do is, on that phone, if a lot of hackers are trying to hack into your phones, you're clicking on links, you're doing all kinds of things, and guess what happens? If they get access to your wallet or to your browser, yeah, then guess what? They got your keys and they get access to it. So many people have lost hundreds of thousands just because of silly things like that. Not silly things, but things like that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we need to get that right. So I think education will help people understand that Crypto is here to stay. Blockchain is here to stay. This is the new way, and don't be left out with the old way. Yeah, this is the new cash. As far as I'm concerned, this is the new cash. When I say cash, when you have cash, nobody knows you have the cash. Yeah, the only time they know you have the cash is when the money withdraw it from the bank, isn't it? But once you have that cash, if somebody else gives you cash, nobody knows they've given you cash, isn't it? So they've taken the paper away from us. They've taken the coins away from us. So we've replaced the coins and paper with crypto. And now nobody knows we have the crypto. The only way they can know is if you go into that centralized system and tell them, by the way, my name is Tony, and the second name is Bella, and I live in this place, and this is my wallet address, and I don't own my wallet address because it's now in custody of the company that owns the wallet, that owns it. So I'm not even in control. When you go to a centralized exchange, you don't own your crypto. Yeah, right. The centralized exchange owns your crypto because you don't own it, because you don't own it. You don't have the key. So all this education is very important, and a community, will help you get through this. So if you want to know more about that community, please talk to anyone that invited you on this. And I want to finish off with one more question, short question, because I know we can. This group is so powerful. We've been here almost for 2 hours.
I know.
Asada, you've broken the record. We normally do an hour and a half, but you have just extended it extra. So on the first, so what we're going to do, the final thing, I want you to say in one sentence, and I'll start with Joseph here, because Joseph's one sentence can be quite long. Joseph, in one sentence.
Thank you once again. Much appreciated for the introduction. Yeah.
Okay, in one sentence, how do you stay ready for the future of crypto? How do you get ready for crypto?
You've said it all. Yeah, you said it all. I just wanted to add the just last part of your point briefly. Mobiles are not safe. They hack into your mobile. Android, Apple are not safe. So don't assume that keeping your password and everything, your key in the mobile, that it is safe. They're vulnerable as anything. It's leaving your door open in the ghetto. Secondly, and briefly, what I would say is this. And one word is the future is crypto. The future is global economy, a global transaction. From that point of view, you need to get online, get educated, understand, stay safe, get advice, join the community in order to take advantage of these new financial tools.
Thank you. That was the longest one sentence I heard, but it's a powerful one. It's a powerful one.
Once again, very much.
I hope I can do that too.
So Bosse, in one sentence, how do we stay ready for the future of crypto?
Well, you stay ready by educating yourself.
The future of money, basically.
Stay ready through knowledge, empowering yourself with knowledge, financial literacy, and go and find your why. And the why will come out. Go and understand the figures and the facts on why people are adopting crypto in developing countries and how it's impacting these countries significantly. Because once you find your why, you'll just keep empowering yourself with knowledge, and then build up your crypto money.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bosse. And Asada, you've heard one sentence. Where's the power sentence here?
One sentence for me, guys, is crypto, plan on having some. Just that simple. If you ain't planning on having some, you're going to stay at the bottom of the totem pole. Get over it and get some. You just need some, so learn about it. That's what I got to say.
Thank you. So, guys, you've heard from everyone on the panel. Firstly, I want to just say, look, crypto, based on what I've heard and based on what I know, crypto is not the scam. It's the people that try to make it a scam that are the scam.
That's right.
But keeping people afraid of the future just might be a scam. So those people that are keeping people afraid of crypto, those are the people that might be a scam. Yeah.
Yep.
So the real question is, will you, like Asad said, will you be an observer or an owner in the new digital economy?
Yep.
So I'd like to say thank you for listening to the Game Challenger.
Yeah.
Remember, what we'd like you to do is I'd like to say thank you thank you to Bosse as usual, giving us data like we've never seen before. Thank you for Joseph, just keeping us secure in this unsafe world. Yeah.
And that's the quickest summary ever.
Yeah, good. And I'd like to say thank you very much for our queen of crypto, the real queen of crypto. You know, we can go on and on and on, but the real queen of crypto has stretched us to the end. Yeah, so I'd like to say thank you very much for Asada. And for me, on the Game Challenger UK, I'd like to say thank you for all of you that watched, and sorry for the hiccup. You know what? The central system were ready for us and they dealt with us well. But guess what? We kept coming back and kept coming back. Just like Bitcoin kept coming down, coming back. And we're here to stay. And I'll say one thing. Just send your messages and say, get hold of Asada, get hold of Bosse, get hold of Joseph, get hold of myself, and no more. And you know what else you need to get hold of? Get hold of this book, Breaking Free. We want to break free. Remember that song? I want to break free from Freddie Mercury. I want to break free. Guess what? We need to break free. So get this. Now you can get the ebook version. With the ebook version, that gives you the key to the community that Asada is talking about. The key to the community. Because with the ebook version, what will happen is you get the key to the community that Asada's in. And guess what? You've heard her already. In just a short space of time, you're going to hear more of her, and you're going to be empowered. You're going to be educated. You're going to be empowered to do the next thing. Don't be left out. Cash is gone. The new cash is crypto.
That's right.
Let's take our Independence Day. See you. Over
Bye.
and out.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.